Hello everyone, my name is Delaney Hart, and today I'm going to be showing you how to use virtual reality such as Google Cardboard and Google Expedition in the classroom. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up my presentation momentarily. Okay, so I did my presentation on virtual reality in the classroom. So I have a warm-up question. If money was not an issue, where would you take your students on a field trip? So I want you to take a minute to think about this and think about all the places that you could take your kids if you could, and airfare wasn't an issue and overnight trips and stuff like that. I know for me, I'd like to take my kids to Pompeii after doing a Pompeii lesson, or anywhere in Italy like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. There's a lot of places that I'd like to take my kids. Now, a lot of us know that this isn't a possibility in this day and age to be able to afford that. So what if I said there was an alternative and you could go there virtually? With Google Cardboard and Google Expedition, there's a cheaper alternative than, say, going on that classroom experience where all students can go and become involved. And I have a short little clip about what you can do with that.
My name is Lance Tiesling. I'm in middle school in Eagle Grove, Iowa. Eagle Grove is not a very tall place. It's actually very flat. This is the tallest building on Main Street. It is about 50 feet tall. When I grew up, I want to be an architect and design skyscrapers. Yesterday at school, we went on a class trip, but this was not a normal trip with buses. This was something very different. The very first expedition we went on was to the Burj Khalifa.
Go ahead and grab 2 hands and put them up to your face.
It's so tall.
Okay, we're gonna go to the 153rd floor.
So I just wanted to introduce you to the idea of, well, this video was Google Expeditions and a way of taking your children outside of the classroom. So I'm going to talk about how you can integrate it into the classroom, but the first thing I want to talk about are the advantages and disadvantages, so you can look at that from that viewpoint. So the first thing I'm going to look at is the disadvantages of using Google Cardboard. The first thing that comes into a lot of people's mind is the cost. It can be very costly to get these type of tools to use in the classroom. To get for example, to get a set of 30 for this kit, it's a couple $1,000s. So that can be kind of halting for a lot of people when they want to get into virtual reality. But then again, if you think about if you actually took these kids on these field trips, it'd be way more. Also, it can be kind of confusing. There's a lot of different apps that you can use and different things you can use that might not be easiest for a lot of kids, so it takes some training for both the teachers and the students. Also, it can make the students feel kind of isolated because it's a one person using this headset and that kind of thing, so it's just them exploring these different parts of the world, so they're not really communicating with their peers as much. So on the flip side, there's a lot of positives. I wanted to mention that was seen in the virtual handout was that technology is constantly changing, and I think if you just look at a picture or read about these places in the textbook, you're not going to hold the children's attention because they're used to so many other things. So if you get something they're interested in, like going there virtually and seeing it in 3D and moving their head around and seeing all these different things, they'll be a lot more interested, which is what that source number 1 talks about in the handout in the Google Doc. Another positive is it can kind of open new doors to creativity. They can come up with their own ideas and their own where they want to go and figure things out, because you can go on an adventure. And I previously talked about how you can feel isolated, but in order to stop that, after they go on their little adventure with Google Cardboard with virtual reality, you can put them in groups and they can talk about their shared experiences and what they felt when they went to the different places. So there's kind of that connecting factor between the two. And lastly, as this virtual reality becomes more present in the schools, the prices have dropped. I know that you can get Google Cardboard for about $15 on Amazon and Google, but you can also create your own. You can have the students make their own cardboard. There's templates online that you can print out, and you could create it with cardboard and make your own. So there's also that possibility. Or instead of having a class set, have 3 or 4, so when you go off into different groups, one group could go and do virtual reality. So what I was talking about that you saw in the first video was the idea of Google Cardboard, and you have that cell phone there that has the app where you have the 2 different lenses as seen when you see the mountains on this screen right here. And it kind of has these lenses so you can see everything in 3D. So you can go to different parts of the world and see different things in 3D. Now, this next slide kind of shows if you purchase Google Cardboard and you want to kind of put it together, it shows you first what it comes with. You get rubber bands, magnets, all the other kind of stuff. And here's just a slow down image of how to put together the Google Cardboard. On the virtual handout, I also linked it to a video that shows you step-by-step how to create it. It takes about 2 minutes or so. That'd be a great way to do something with the kids. They could design it themselves. The video had little doodles so you can make it personable if you have a class set, but if you have less, I mean, then again, you can't do that. And then I also have a picture of the actual app, Google Cardboard. You can go to different places, a little different than Google Expedition, but you could, like, for example, go to the National Museum of Art and History and just look around and experience what you couldn't necessarily leave the classroom to do, which is kind of neat. Then I wanted to show a brief video about Google Expeditions, their Pioneer program. So I'm going to go ahead and play that.
You could pick anywhere in the world that you want to go. Where would you want to go? I would like to go to the moon, Thailand, ancient Greece, India, to Nigeria, my homeland. One or maybe all of the 7 wonders of the world. When you explore different places, you have the chance to actually learn something new.
You want to be able to show the kids that there's something outside of your community that you could go to and learn from, and that there's other places you can visit.
All right, so let's do our objective and we'll talk about the lesson for today.
We're going to take a field trip to Verona, Italy to see the place where Romeo and Juliet lived.
I'm going to take you on this field trip under the water. Okay, you guys ready? Pick up your devices
And look in your cardboard.
What is that?
I see a shark.
Whoa!
It allowed us to go somewhere we wouldn't normally be able to go.
Are we in China?
This is the Great Wall of China.
We got to see the place itself so we could actually understand what she was talking about.
How long would it take to walk the length of the Great Wall of China? So much more enriching than just showing them a picture or just having them read about it.
This device can actually make us go to places that we've never been before.
It brings the lesson to you, and you have to see it for yourself to believe it.
There's so much other places to see, so you know that it's never going to end.
I also wanted to point out there's not just the Google Cardboard and Google Expedition that you can use using the headset. There's many apps and different applications you can use in different forms of education that I also linked on the virtual handout, so take a look at this. And last thing that I wanted to say is I encourage all teachers to at least purchase one, get the app, try to figure out if it will work for your classroom. Again, there's a tutorial video to show you exactly how to do it, and there's other videos online that show you, which apps to use and stuff like that. And then again, if the school system doesn't have the budget for you to purchase enough for the school, maybe in the library you can go ahead and rent them for your class and have a set for when you're working on it specifically. So there's other alternatives than every classroom having 30+ sets. And I wanted to leave you with one last question. So if you do end up getting Google Cardboard and experimenting with that, where will you take your students? How will this change the education for them? And I hope that we all do this, because I think with changing technology, we need to change with the times and show our students there's more out there than just our small town or just our school. And these are my sources. I have them all listed here, and sources continued. So I wanted to thank you for watching this video and for really just looking at it all with me. So thank you very much. Bye.